Yep.
Did anybody else receive an email from Ellie Bunting?
I did not.
There was an invitation that came into my private Gmail account. I just asked her about it because I was having a hard time opening it.
Was it legitimate?
No, it's
I
spam.
didn't think so.
Oh, interesting.
She sent an email, actually, that's been happening to a lot of people, that,
Yep, I'm actually just logging on to tell you I can't, we have a advisory board meeting, so I will have to jump off right away. I just wanted to let everyone know that. Thank you.
what's it, I heard that same thing from someone else about their email having been compromised.
Oh, wow.
It's another e-name, so it's a friend of mine by the name of Ellen, and we're an investment group together,
Oh,
and she said that hers had been compromised too.
Wow.
yeah, well, I think we're ready. She said we're ready.
But the light hasn't turned on. Okay.
We're live, you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, there it is. Now it's on.
Now it's up. Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to the June 25th meeting of the CELCAB. And my name is Ellen Vaughn, and I'm filling in for Sherry Smith, the chair of the CELCAB group, who has an excused absence today. So I'm going to call the meeting to order. And we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we will have roll call. So Sherry Smith, as I mentioned, has an excused absence. So we will begin at the far left-hand side of the table.
John McLean, Town Council Liaison.
Carrie Henderson.
Lori Wolf.
Barbara Hill.
And I hope what I was saying before is intelligible because my microphone was not turned on. Hopefully it was picked up by others. Ellen Vaughn serving as chair for today.
Karina Brites.
And Jeff Hauge.
All right, then next we will have public comment. Given that there is no one in the audience, I would assume that we're not going to have public comment. So the next order of business is the approval of the May 28th minutes. Has everyone had a chance to renew them?
Yes.
Review
Yes.
them, rather.
Yes.
And are there any questions or comments?
I did not see any.
No, but we must have a new Scrivener because the minutes were so incredibly well done and organized, and so I compliment the person who's doing the minutes.
Yeah, we do. I believe we do. I believe we do have a new one. The other one, I think, retired. So.
Well done. I have no,
Okay. The one comment I had, because I had participated remotely, and there's always a little bit of a lag of feeling how much you really understand about what was going on. So Karina, in the section where they talk about the target date to implement the reopening of the underground being 28/29, I thought we were on track to get it reopened in some form yet this year.
28, 29, I believe we were talking about the full exhibit
Gotcha, okay,
with, yeah.
okay, all right. Excellent, okay. Anyone else have comments about the minutes?
No.
All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I so move, Barbara
I
Hill.
second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, then we'll move on to the Strategic Action Plan Draft 2. So, Karina, thank you for all the work you have done to pull that together for us.
Here.
And Karina, can I ask you to kind of walk us through it, since you are the one that has been doing the yeoman's work on it all?
Of course. On page number 2, I believe the mission will stay as it is, to preserve and interpret over 2,000 years of cultural and environmental history of Fort Myers Beach and Southwest Florida, to share it with present and future generations.
Okay, any comments on that? Okay, continue on.
Okay. And then I have 2 suggestions for our vision. Is you can see it's on the next
Next
page.
packet?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, has everyone had a chance, because you had sent those to us electronically. Have
Yes.
people had a chance to look at those?
Yes.
And do people have comments about that?
They were both excellent, I thought, and really sort of addressed some of the confusion that we had about getting the wording correct. And I think that these both are good. I kind of like the first one, the meaningful connections.
And that's to create meaningful connections between people, history, and nature, inspiring lifelong care or stewardship for our coastal environment and appreciation for the many cultures that define our community. So either we can use the word care or stewardship.
I kind of like the word stewardship. It really is a little
Yes.
more defined and really speaking about museum activities specifically.
And I think it's, well, yes, it speaks to the role of responsibility.
Yes.
So Karina, is there anything that you think would be missing if we go with one rather than two?
No. No. I think that the first one is just a little more condensed, but
It's the-
Yeah,
Succinct.
and I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
better.
Okay, so
Agreed.
So is the protocol for us to say, to call for a
Vote?
vote?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so could I have a call for a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the first suggestion for our vision as part of our strategic plan.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor? Or I should say,
Aye.
is there further discussion?
Oh, actually, yes, and be clearly defined about the lifelong stewardship as opposed to care in the wording.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Any further discussion? All right, let's have a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so it carries unanimously. All right, so moving on to the next section,
okay.
our
to-
values. And you have some suggestion votes for us there.
On the first one, we have two options. The first one is to present a range of high-quality museum programs that support the mission and encourage return visits. And the second option will be to present a range of museum-quality, engaging programs that support the mission and encourage return visits.
Are there any thoughts about the difference between those two wordings? Karina, do you have a preference?
This is your area of expertise.
Pardon? Barbara?
I really like the number two wording, present a range of museum quality, because high quality really isn't as definitive. Well, it does say museum programs.
But I think, I hear what you're saying, because I think putting the emphasis on museum quality rather than high-quality museums puts the emphasis where I think we want it.
Yes,
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's what I was thinking.
Okay. Further discussion about that? All right, so can we have a motion, please?
I'll move to accept our values number two choice.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Which one?
Number two?
Number two choice,
Number two?
right?
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
yes,
good.
yeah, that's what you said.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All right. Okay, moving on to the next. Karina, all the work you've done is getting us through this rather expeditiously. Okay,
On page number 4, I didn't see any corrections that needed to be made.
strategic goals and objectives. Okay. And then moving on to the next page, page 5.
Okay, so the strategic goals and objectives for programs. The first one, maintain current exhibitions in good conditions. That will remain the same.
Mhm.
Research feasibility to open underground exhibit. And that combine those two, we had it in two different lines, and then just combine them. Having a partial reopening in 2026.
Mm. And that long-term one will require additional funding.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. That spells that out, which was, yeah.
Okay. And then the last one on this page is to develop new rotating exhibitions, and that will remain the same.
Okay. Any comments, questions? No.
Nope.
Everyone's satisfied with it as presented?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so do we need to have a motion to accept this as is, since we're not making any changes?
We're not making
I
any
don't think so.
changes, do we?
Okay,
Yeah.
I think you can actually go through this by consensus and then make a motion on the entire document.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so too, instead of going every page.
okay. Thank you for that, John. Okay, and let's move on to page 6, strategic goals and objectives.
All right, this is on education. And just, the first one is to develop annual schedule of tours, beach walks, and lectures. And this is the responsibility of the education coordinator. And this will be implemented within the next few months when we have the new education coordinator.
Mhm.
The next line, let me see. I deleted the updating and revising volunteer manual from this page because I added it on the, I believe it's under, let's see, under development.
Yeah, because it's really not a program.
Right,
it's more-
correct.
It's a training session, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I deleted that, and signage for self-guided tour of botanical gardens. And I added, and museum interactive tour.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And if you see on the paper where you have the options, the suggestions for visions, there is a website address that I would like you to go and take a look, and that's what we're moving towards doing.
I clicked on it, but nothing really came up. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering what, did you click on it?
Yeah, I clicked on it, I couldn't get anything to pop up either. And I
Oh.
cleared my cookies and I did everything you're supposed to, so yeah.
I
It's
was,
not, it didn't click on.
Okay.
Did yours
I
come
was
up?
successful.
Okay,
So what
well-
web browser are you using? 'Cause that's
I was
becoming-
using Chrome.
Okay, and what were you using?
Google.
See, and I use Safari. I've discovered in recent months that what
Safari
brow-
was better.
whatever browser you're using, people are not necessarily creating materials that are accessible through all browsers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Were you okay with it?
interesting.
Did you like it?
Yeah, Safari's fine, because I was a
No,
lawyer.
I mean the link.
The link, yes. I mean,
Okay.
it's just that they developed things that are available with QR codes.
Correct.
And I think the only issue there is you need to make sure that the connection between the QR code and the material stays.
Right.
And I think that's probably a management issue of whoever services you're buying.
Yes.
Okay,
So, but we're looking into it, and probably by the time next meeting, I'll have more on where we're at. Right now,
Okay.
we're just in the researching
Right.
stages.
yeah, because these companies have been around for a few years, so they ought to be somewhat stable,
Correct.
and the not so good ones are probably no longer there.
You're
Yeah, and
right.
if you need
Correct.
help on that, let me know.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, that's your field.
That's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
field. Yep.
Okay, expert liaison.
I don't know
Yes.
about that.
Okay, so anything else on this page then?
And on this page, the last one is outreach programs to school and community groups. That's gonna stay the same.
Which page is that?
It's
No,
number
it's-
6.
Item,
We're
the
on
last-
third
six.
item on page 6.
Oh, yes, okay, outreach program.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so it is John suggested we don't have to do anything right now on this, we can do it at the end, since we have no questions about it. Okay.
And we do have the education person coming June 29th.
29.
Yes, next
Very
week.
exciting.
Next week.
And we, I think, requested last month that we maybe have her come the following, like
Absolutely.
in, are we meeting in July?
No, we don't meet in July, but in August.
In August,
Mhm.
then if she could come and we
Absolutely.
can be introduced.
And she'll have her feet wet, so to speak.
Yes.
Which will be
Yeah.
actually better than showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deer in the headlights, right, exactly.
Okay, so moving on to collections.
Collections. On page number 7, we have the, to implement new collections and management policy. It's, the council already adopted the policy on May 18th. But this is an ongoing document that needs to be updated from time to time.
So do you expect the updates have to happen on a regular scheduled basis, or?
Well, we should, at least I will say every 2 years.
Okay. So is that something that should be listed, so that you have a time frame that you know you have to hit it every 2 years?
I can add that.
Did others think that that's something that,
Revise every 2 years.
Yeah, you should probably just put it in our notes so we have it.
Okay.
yeah, because everyone's interpretation of regular could be once a year, once every 5 years, once
Every quarter.
Yeah,
It could be,
all over the map.
yeah.
Anything else for this page?
No.
And everything else stayed the
Is-
same.
Is the botanical gardens considered a collection, or is it under operations?
Oh, that's a good question. Operations, right?
And is
I would
the-
think it would be operations, as do like the plants and trees and everything, but I guess if someone has another thought, I guess I didn't put a whole lot of thought into that.
So is, the botanical gardens were basically destroyed in Needham, weren't they?
Yes.
So is there going to be an effort to reinstall them? I mean,
I
they're not native, so therein lies the issue of how, I'm having my vocabulary is impaired today, can't come up with the word, it's not survivable, how can,
Resilient.
resilient,
Yes,
thank you,
yes,
thank
yes,
you, thank
that's
you,
the
that's the word,
yes.
resilient.
No, and I, again, it's a question in terms of where in our responsibility does it fall, because it is educational in nature. And if it's educational in nature, it is programmatic, which means that it could be under either exhibitions or education. But before we move on to operations, I just need to get that clarification.
And I will say, before the House Museum was open, that was the focus on the tours, that we didn't charge for, but we often got very significant donations, because it was the garden tour that we would give. And we would focus on the different aspects of the garden. You had the kind of the kitchen garden, and you had the botanical garden, and,
Exactly.
which was rather important to think about how it explains the different groups that lived there, because the botanical gardens really was focused on, I guess it was a combination of both the modern people and what the Calusi used.
And the ancient, yes.
And the ancient
exactly.
peoples, and then the kitchen garden, of course, was the early settlers that they had to, as I always used to say, you didn't have public, so you had to grow your own food.
Right, yeah.
So I guess if it would be possible to have the botanicals that would be troubled, maybe they could be displayed in a way that they could be moved in case of impending hurricanes.
So we just,
But
I'm sorry.
botanicals are easily replaced
Okay,
at low cost.
okay.
So I don't see that as a huge issue, other than mature trees.
Gotcha.
And you couldn't move them anyway, so.
Yeah, and if you're talking reimbursement, even from, let's say, 100 years down the road, we get another hurricane, hopefully not anytime soon, those aren't something that we can replace through FEMA funds. They
Right.
don't do any landscaping or
Yeah.
that, so we are, and I was just talking to Karina, we are gonna be discussing that on page 9.
Okay,
So I knew I saw it somewhere when I was reading through earlier, so maybe we can talk about it a little more when we
Okay.
get there, I mean, or
Okay,
now,
so
it's
it
up to you guys.
It is under operations,
Okay.
but I do think it is educational in nature, so it isn't
Right.
just an in-house,
It's
you know,
sex-
to-do list, and that's, I think, the concern,
Right.
because I know that we had some discussions last month about the interpretive signage that
Mm-hmm.
was, I think we have a gift from this individual, and so wherein is that, and when is that gonna happen, and, you know?
We're still in the designing stages.
Okay, so is that in operations then, about the
actually the-
signage?
Oh yeah, that is under operations, I'm sorry.
Operations, yes.
Signage, I'm not sure where that sits.
okay, so are we content with the way
Oh,
the
yeah,
collections pages reads right now then?
But I think to
Signage was
Ellen's,
under collections.
yeah, to Ellen's point though, I mean, I think we're talking about the botanical gardens and who is the one that's making decisions with regard to how that will all look, the comprehensive landscaping plan, which I know is in the strategic plan now, but who's in charge of that?
And she's not here, so I can't really speak to her point of view, but I have in the past heard Becky Warner talk about how that was a big discussion point in the early years of CELCAB.
Right.
That's true, absolutely.
Yeah, because you were part, yeah.
Yes.
So perhaps would that come back to CELCAB as being at least a weighing in on it? Or-
Well,
Oh,
I think
And
we
I-
could definitely, I'm sorry to interrupt, we could definitely have a discussion and recommendation from CELCAB. I think that would be appropriate, to work, because right now the responsibility on page 9 with operations is museum director and museum
Museum.
manager, so
Okay,
I think, those are kind of things that I would like everyone's input on this board, advisory board, and, I
okay.
think that would be good to go over that, but are you talking about like the initial plans, or?
Well, I just know, I have not seen what a culturally significant botanical garden will look like.
Sure.
So I don't think that's ever been an agenda issue. And it says here that it's, next year, like 27, actually, and 28. So, I see that you're looking for a TDC grant for it, but what do you present to TDC, and when is that coming before the advisory board?
So the application won't be due for another 7 or 8 months.
Right.
So what we have to present to TDC is a budget for what that might look like. So that, I think early, when we start to meet again after the holiday, we should probably start talking about having on agenda what your vision might be for that. I don't know, is that okay to say, or did you have a vision for it, or? And what it might have looked like before. So I think that would be a great first discussion, and then we can get some pricing in to TDC and put that as a possibility for them to consider.
So in terms of funding, there's no funding available for building a new culturally significant botanical gardens, is what I'm hearing you say. So pending any grant funding, in addition to whatever the town can provide, is really sort of up in the air. But in order for you to get a grant, in addition to the budget, you would probably need a proposal that
Correct.
would entail specific plants and specific locations. And I think that was my question. To me, this was too broad. And, and maybe Karina, you've got some ideas about how that all plays out?
Well, the idea was really to take the grounds to what it looked like before. And we're still thinking about what's gonna happen with the non-native plants that were originally there. So that's something that we can definitely discuss.
Yeah, to your point, yes, we would like some kind of preliminary design we
Okay.
can put together. We
I-
don't
I-
necessarily
I
need a
would-
picture for TDC, we just would like the plants that we get and a cost to each plant. Or whatever's in the garden, I guess. So it would be a breakdown budget of what we're looking for.
And
Okay,
I think the new, excuse me, go ahead. Go ahead, Laura.
I was just going to say, I'd really like to help with this as the former director of the Fragrance Garden of Lee County and Lakes Park and a Florida Master Gardener. I would like to help out with that.
Awesome.
Good point.
Absolutely.
You have
I
the
thi- I-
expertise,
I
'cause
think
I
it's-
certainly don't.
And I think since it's been kind of the direction of the from CELCAB anyway, I would love for you guys to help with the design. Because you all have the history of maybe what it looked like or what it looked like before, or the expertise that you have to put this together. So yeah, I would encourage that, put that on the next agenda if that's okay.
Okay.
To start, and then start thinking
Absolutely.
about it and putting together some ideas. You'll have a month and a half to do that. And,
Exactly, yep.
Well, I think too, it's a great time for us to reevaluate the concept of the botanical gardens, given 6 stormwater intrusions in 3 years, to say that any other plants that were there and didn't survive all of that salt water will be absolutely off the table in terms of future planting, because it's so susceptible to salt, and we're a barrier island, so keeping in mind what works on this island at low cost and without a sprinkler system.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's generally on the island what we try to shoot for, some resilient plants and vegetation. So yeah, I mean, it's all up to you, but I would encourage that.
Right.
So that'll be a future agenda?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
definitely.
We'll check into that. Okay, so let's get back to where we were. We're still on page 7. And is there anything further on page
So,
7?
so let me just clarify, do we still leave, the developing of the, botanical garden, under operations, or you wanna change it to?
Operations.
Under collections.
To education or collections, because you mentioned both.
Didn't more like a collection?
You like it you'd like it under collections?
I think so.
I would say it would be in operations once it's been developed. Yeah, I think we're premature on having it under operations since it's not there yet. So maybe move it to collections because it's in the works. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah. I'm not sure that it will fall under collections though.
Well, is there, let's see, I mean, it's something that has.
Exhibitions, something,
Yeah, yeah.
That's actually a better place for it because
Yes.
it's an exhibition to be developed.
Right. That'd be fine. Yeah,
Okay.
this is an exhibition, yeah.
So since we're making that recommendation, that requires a motion, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I would
We
like the
don't- we don't
professionals to
have-
weigh in on that. Do you think, what are your thoughts on moving that, until it is created, moving it to,
Well, I think that because it's not created yet, we should leave it under operations so that we can.
oh. Under operations,
And then probably move it to education.
you make a good point with when you think about the terminology. Yep,
Okay.
okay, so it's where it belongs.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so anything else on page 7 for changing?
No.
So we move to page 8.
JJ looks good.
Okay.
And
Karina, how many changes were made
let
from
me see.
last discussion?
The only thing that was here, there was, to develop an annual plan for programs, was deleted from here and was put under education.
Yeah.
Okay, yep,
Everything else stayed the
stays the
same.
same. Any comments? No. Nope, okay, let's move on to 9. And we've hashed the first one through and decided that it's where it belongs. Anything else?
And,
No.
no, that's it.
Yeah, I didn't have that in my notes either.
maybe with regard to the staff, the operations, to encourage professional development, is there any addition of staff going to various conferences, like Sandra may be going to the Museum Store Association conference? You know, I mean, does that need to be in the strategic plan, or is that just sort of a given? I just think it's important for the town to recognize, you know, if there is professional development that needs to happen, whether it's Leadership League or Museum Association activities that should be encouraged.
I 100% agree with that, Barbara, and the reason I agree is because if it's in our strategic plan, we have a better chance of it getting funded on the budget.
Yeah.
So like last year, all of our training got wiped out, right? We tried to do that. We're putting it back in this year, and if I can stand up to council and say, well, this is, you know, it's part of our strategic plan, maybe we have a better shot at keeping it in. I don't want to speak for anyone, but I mean, it's something to think about, is that if it's a goal of ours, I mean, it could still cut it. I mean, that's just the reality of our budget, but I think it's got some more legs to stand on if we have it in there as training, and I think it's definitely appropriate. And I know this last year we didn't have any, you know, for Bay Oaks either, or a lot of different departments, their training got cut, and we could see the difference. I mean,
Absolutely.
we know that professional development's important, and it's in our performance reviews as well. And the argument is, if we don't have any money, how can we have professional development? I totally agree. So
Good.
that's my 2 cents on that.
And I'd like to, we were about to send Allison, if I'm not mistaken, to the Leadership League. And I think that was about the time that she left. I don't know if she ever completed that program, but there was funding set aside, I think it's $1,200 to be a part of that program that's through, I think, through the Lee County.
Lee County.
Through county itself. But if that's been either used or not used by Allison, which is basically at this point a moot point. I'd like for that funding to go to Karina, so that Karina has a better overview of Lee County leadership and the operations of how this community works from every level. And I think it's hugely informative for any museum manager to be part of that process.
Yeah, and before promising that, I just want to look back at the budget and see what line item it's in. I don't want that to have been something that got absolved into the emergency fund or something like it did other budget items. So just let me find that out. But I agree. I think it's very appropriate.
I think it's good for, especially because of our staff being a skeletal staff and sort of hiring from within. If that's not something that the position is already bringing to the table with a particular individual, it's important that we get that person up to speed.
Yeah. I see lots of nodding of heads. Yes.
Okay, so I will add that line for staff development.
Yes.
Yeah, professional staff,
On
staff
page
professional
nine?
development
page
for
9.
staff, yeah.
It says professional staff.
Yeah, what page?
9.
9.
And that's also being part of the Florida Trust for Historic Preservation, which I know Teresa was very actively involved with when she was museum director. And then there's the Florida Museum Directors. That may or may not be applicable for Karina, but certainly, or maybe even Jeff. That's a museum director, museum, which is a state organization.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I think we could add maybe even training into that.
Yeah.
Professional development training, because I would like to see just simply, I'd like to see everyone at Mound House be first aid, CPR, certified and all those, AED certified, just because they're in a public place where people are
good
there.
point.
So
Excellent point.
we are actually actively talking about doing that right now.
With our
so.
fire department?
If they can, I know,
They
I think
they
we're gonna
used to
reach out.
teach, those classes frequently.
Yeah, otherwise, we do have a little bit of money through our FMIT, our insurance, that they pay half of trainings for those kind of things. So we could use Red Cross as well, but I know, thought of that too, fire department.
Okay, so you're going to add that in, Karina.
I
Um,
guess.
So since we don't have anything in writing right now, there isn't anything for us to make a motion on? Or should we make a motion saying we would like that added? That's probably.
No, I
the
think
way
we
to
can
go.
add it in there, and then the motion would be afterwards, would be, do we
Afterwards.
approve the changes that we've made as?
Okay, so again at the end, okay.
Yep.
All right, so we're all in favor of that. Okay, so. Okay, do you need some time to, you're good? Good?
No, what I just mentioned to her is, we'll read them at the end just so it's clear,
Okay, yeah.
and then you can vote on it.
Okay, so we're moving on to page 10, development. Okay,
Everything stayed the same.
Mhm. Any comments from any CELCAB member?
Actually, yes, last month, John gave a wonderful, actually, it might have been in March, if I'm not mistaken, but you gave an excellent suggestion, I thought, with regard to, that we consider the destination, that the Mound House be considered a destination site for possible tours and water taxis. Remember you're mentioning that, and I think that was incredibly valid. And in this development portion of our strategic plan, that somehow that should be not forgotten as a possibility for future,
So to
So
call
you
that
could
out. as a
say
specific-
something around supporting multimodal transport options. We don't have a ferry right now, but if we did, obviously, the Mound House would be one of the primary destinations.
Destinations.
right, and have it as a destination. And of course, we had that blue, what is it, Calusa Blue
Yeah.
tours,
Yeah, blue
which
light.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had that in the strategic plan, but we don't want to lose sight of encouraging that kind of activity.
I wonder if we do something broad and put examples. So we could do, transportation. So like, for example, we're trying to get Lee Tran to at least come down to Mound House and turn
Oh,
around.
good point.
Kayaking, biking, those kind of
Yes.
things is, maybe we don't have enough bike racks for people. Maybe, so I think,
You just do a support multimodal transportation and by by public transportation, by water, by, you know,
Public and
something like
private.
that.
Public.
Yeah, I like that. And then when,
Public
then when we
private.
come up with an idea,
Public and private.
Mhm.
Available.
Multimodal, public and private.
Yeah.
yeah, and then I think it's easier, the reason we can do this and what we're doing for our strategic plan for the town is our goals, to say we want to get the water taxi or water ferry, that'll be, you know, we'll just say, based on our strategic plan, this is something that we want, and it's in writing, so I think that supports that as well, so. Anything we can put in here should be tied back to something that we want, so.
And tied into the larger town strategic goal planning,
Correct,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I like the idea of saying water ferry and water taxi, because I see them as two distinct, different kinds of services, where the ferry would be on a schedule and a taxi would be something that.
That you just order.
You just order, a private
Mhm.
person might,
Yeah.
like it's a water Uber, you know?
We should start calling it water Uber. A Woober.
Yeah, a blooper. I like the blooper.
Okay, so that will get added in under development.
Okay.
So, thank you, John.
I like multimodal and public, private, yeah, all good words.
Is it multi?
Well, say it again,
Multimodal transportation, both
multi-
public and private.
Yeah, multimodal.
Good point, yeah. public and private.
Because, Jeff, multimodal does cover water,
Yeah.
park,
Yes.
bike paths, everything, right?
Yes,
parachuting
it
in.
does. Sure, why not?
Parachute,
Parachute, paragliding.
Hot air ballooning.
whatever you wanna do.
Suppose someone could swim up to us.
Exactly. And walk up the kayak.
Certainly the manatees do.
Or we could put a ladder on the dock.
On the dock.
Why not?
Yes.
Okay, on to page 11.
Oh, I just have one question about
Okay.
Page 10.
10,
For
okay.
the facility rental fees, how are those being evaluated? And I'm just wondering, is that going to be part of the budget draft for Mount House? To presume that you're going to get X number of revenue from facility rentals, and if so, what does that cost?
Yeah, that's something we're gonna, I mean, we've talked about fee schedules. Technically, I wanted to bring it to you guys. We had a tighter timeline this time. So we could possibly do it via, not all of us in an email, but you could send me suggestions. But that would have to be done soon, so we can send out the fee schedule. But it would have to, I mean, I'm talking about by mid next week.
So it'd just be a percentage that goes to the museum.
No, you're talking about the fees, right? Admission
yeah,
fees,
that's what
all
I'm
that.
saying.
Yeah,
Not
so
only
we
that,
have to have a
but-
fee schedule that gets approved by the council every year, part of the budget process. So if we wanna adjust any of those, we need reasons why, what that would increase, what would use those funds for if it did increase.
I
So, I don't know if we did raise them last year, did we?
I don't think so.
No, we're doing the same thing with CAB too, and it's tough, because it's like you raise them and then, they're a public entity, but we still want to bridge that gap between, being good stewards of taxpayer funds and the
Making it
general fund,
affordable.
so.
I think if you could just send it to us, because I just really don't have a sense of what it is right
Exactly.
now. So, and then
I don't either.
then we could comment.
I
Yeah,
agree.
there's not a lot for the Mound House. There's rentals, there's like the kayak tours, the admission, those kind of things. So I don't think it'll take you long to kind of look over it.
Right.
I don't remember the last time we actually,
Rented out the facility?
well, no, well, that's true. But looked at the fees and compared them with, it's hard to compare the Mound House with anything else.
Right.
Like the rec center, we can, with amenities and those kind of things, we can compare it. The Mound House is very unique.
Right.
So,
But
But
you
there
look
was
at
a
it,
fee schedule at one point,
Yes.
pre-Ian, because you would have host
Correct.
weddings.
there is still that
Yeah.
fee schedule as part of our budget, but it's just been kind of rolling over.
Right, yeah.
So-
So if you could just look at it and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still a work in progress.
So the fees are still pre-Ian.
they definitely need to be raised then.
I don't remember the,
I don't remember.
remember
So
last
what
time
you
we did
wanna
it
do is
either.
just compare it to another nonprofit.
sometimes we We tweaked it a little bit. I know the Bay Oaks ones we did tweak a
Well, we
little bit
did
here and
major
there.
for Bay Oaks, yeah.
We did the major one and then we still tweaked it last year, but I don't remember, honestly, I don't, if we tweaked them at all. It raised the admission fee, you know, $1 or $2 or,
I think we raised it at one point to $15, but then we
took
went
it
back
back
to
down.
10.
okay. I'll try to find it right now before the meeting's over and blind copy, just remember, needs to come to Karina and I and not each other, just for
Right.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Of course,
that's fine.
Of course.
Just wanna keep bringing that up.
Right, and we should send it to Amy. If we have comments for other people, we send it to Amy.
You
and
can
she-
send it to Amy, but
and
we
then
can
she can-
distribute
Yeah.
to you all. I usually
Okay.
blind copy everyone just so you don't see
Right.
everyone's response.
Okay,
We
right,
all know
okay,
each
so that
other's.
would be the protocol. So we would send it to you and then you can share it back.
Yep.
Okay, so we don't have to bother Amy.
Exactly. It's
Not unless
like-
she tells me different when she gets back in 2 weeks from her vacation.
Okay. Well, it will be on the record that we discussed it.
And I do think it's important for us to let the council know that we're trying to cover the costs, and that's, you know, the income, the revenue that we receive from museum admission, from memberships, from facility rentals, from kayak, I mean, all of that revenue, we're trying to do the very best we can to help alleviate the costs involved in running the Mound House. And I think that's a very crucial conversation for us to be having this year with regard to the changes potentially in the property tax. Because if the town is going to be talking about cutting services, Mound House is not a core service.
That's right.
And I fear that, you know, the council would look at the Mound House as being an extravagance. Like art and culture oftentimes is considered an extravagance. So let's be very proactive in terms of looking at that revenue.
And we definitely saw that last year. I mean, our programs were the biggest to get cut, you know.
Right.
Of course.
Whether it's Mound House or it's the
Bay
Bay
Oaks.
Oaks or anything, we had significant, I mean, other departments did too, I'm not saying that,
Right.
but you kind of look at, you're right, we don't have that gap. I mean, with recreation and even in culture sometimes, you know, the fees coming in only pay, I think the average is 28% of the budget, you know, but then you get the catch-22, and I know, Barbara, you were a part of that with CAB, and we've tried to raise them a lot and got,
Oh, yeah.
it's like
slammed.
you price somebody out of coming to the Mound House. So we gotta have
Can't
that,
do that.
that
It's a
same
sweet
thing. So.
spot. But we also can compare other historic museums in the area
Mhm.
and see what others are charging. So
That's what-
it's not
yeah.
that we're, you know, that unique.
Mhm.
There are examples that we can look to for comparison.
Yes.
Yeah, I would just compare apples and apples on that, just to,
Mhm. As best we
you know,
can.
yeah.
as best
Thank
we
you.
can. Yeah. Okay, so,
And I have one more question, because we were originally talking about staff, but the accreditation costs, again, talking about the budget, I think there were two costs involved. One is the accreditation involving AAM, which was significantly higher than doing a self-study for $3,000. So is that a conversation that's being had in the budget meetings as to what we're going to do with accreditation efforts?
It's a great question that we haven't brought up yet, right? What do you think? Can we get back to you on that?
Okay.
I also want to mention that on the facility rental fees, I think it can be museum manager. And we could maybe even put CELCAB in there to review. On page 10.
Mhm.
Well, I think the issue here is that there was a very clear delineation of what the responsibility of CELCAB was, and I understood from staff that in no way does CELCAB involve itself in in budget issues. We can be general on saying, like, say, we really want this to happen, and we can recommend, but we're not part of the budget process. It's not our role.
I agree, and it would just be a recommendation. You know,
Right.
you wouldn't be approving what we send, but
Right.
I don't think it would hurt for you all to look at it.
I'd love to.
and offer,
So,
Right.
I mean,
offer
that,
advice.
Yeah.
that's kind of my, yeah, because I think the more eyes we can put on it, like I said, it wouldn't be so maybe we just leave it the way it is and we bring it in front of you all for a thought or an agenda item and just see your thoughts on it before the budget cycle, for sure.
Yes.
And I think too that if we're looking to keep this accreditation process in our minds, that it be included in the strategic plan in terms of next steps and what costs are involved, so that we don't lose sight of it.
So it's
If we drop the ball this year and we move on to other issues, it can get lost.
right, so it needs to be called out.
I agree with that,
Yes,
for sure,
yes.
yeah, we should
I
put it in
agree
there to
with that.
review.
Mhm.
I think review would probably be a good word, because if we can't do it for some reason, we can't take action on it, I think we should review it.
Annual
Annual,
review
yeah.
of accreditation process and next steps.
Yeah, it's on page 9. It's the last line on page 9.
Okay,
Oh, there we go.
But it didn't talk specifically about, I mean, obviously it involves funding, so I just didn't want to lose sight of what it's gonna cost for us to do it.
Regardless of funding, though, it would be a goal.
It is, that's true, yes.
Great, yep, that's a good point, John, thank you.
okay. All right, so having had that discussion, we're ready to move on to page 11, which is a continuation of development.
Yes.
We've sort of been talking about this, the net revenue, Barbara, this is the issue that you had raised. And then this-
The only change that I have there was to work with visitor services staff. Just added the word staff to add an online store to the museum's website to expand access and increase revenue.
all right, that's,
Has there ever been a report, and I guess this is sort of a historical question for all of you that have been members of CELCAB, have you ever seen a gross and net revenue budget report from the museum store in terms of how much money we're making, how much money, have we made each year in terms of
A
gain?
P&L.
Right.
profit and loss.
I don't think we've ever had that, and I do think, again, it's a budget question, but it is specifically the museum store, and the idea that, you're investing X amount in, building the inventory and having a particular look for the museum store, but then it's quite another thing, are you making a ton of money, which of course is the point. Again, telling council that we're working very hard to increase that net revenue. And I've never seen figures that attest to the fact that we're good at that, or mediocre, or horrible.
Right, yeah.
I think
I've never
it can definitely, provide that. I think one of the nice things is that I think our revenue, or our net will be higher because we get the donation from the Friends to buy material from there, or buy items. So we're not putting out the cost necessarily.
And that
And if
should
they
be
continue-
factored in.
That's what- yes.
Absolutely.
So it's-
It's a great position to be in, to say that.
Whether, the Friends will have the funds or want to fund those is a different story, but I think it's something we can always ask for to increase that net profit, so. Yes, for sure, we'll look into that.
And I will then interject with the Friends, there's new leadership at the Friends, and they have been developing a strategic plan that I, because of travel, was not part of that process, but I was reviewing it before this meeting. And philanthropy towards the Mound House is one of their, it's in the very first line of their new mission, of the mission statement they're proposing. So the whole idea is to raise funds for the Mound House, and it spells out a whole array of things. And
But that's always been core to
Yes.
the mission.
according to the mission, but it hadn't, they're changing the wording. And, well, they're proposing changing the wording, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, okay. Because really, once they've set, what their funding goal is, it's to fund whatever Karina is bringing to the table as a menu of possibilities as to what they can fund.
Exactly, because it's Karina's call.
Right, as
Yeah.
Karina's call, as long
Yeah.
as Friends is.
They understand that.
Yeah.
They understand that.
At the library, we call it a wish list for the
Yeah,
director.
exactly, there you go, the
Okay.
wish list.
The wish list, okay, yeah. Yeah, so I don't think we're in any danger of the Friends not providing as much as they possibly can.
Of
Right.
course.
Well, that's a given,
Yeah.
you all have been so incredible. Increasing membership too, that's a Friends conversation.
Yeah. Okay, so page 11, do we have anything to add or change there? All right,
Securing, it
I got a
says
question.
museum manager, so how is the museum manager going to be securing sponsors and partnerships? Because if Friends is doing that, are you working in addition to, or,
No, with.
oh,
With.
oh, it says that work
Yeah,
with Friends of the
of the
Mountain House.
Mountain House.
but for their support okay, so basically, that's not a museum management, responsibility, it is a Friends responsibility?
I would say that it's
It's
both.
both.
Yeah.
Because I would think
Yeah.
Karina would
Yeah,
have
but you need to be
veto
involved in
power.
that for
I mean, if
sure.
the Friends propose something that goes against what the town wants or what
Yeah.
Karina wants.
Yeah, she needs to be
she would-
involved
She
in
would be
that.
the decider.
It comes back to some of the new things that we're doing around donation policy and stuff like that. We obviously welcome and accept donations. However, there are certain donations that come with strings attached or ongoing price costs associated with them, things like that, where we as a town may not want to accept
Right,
a specific
correct.
donation,
Absolutely,
or if it's tainted in some way.
Yep. Yep.
So it has to be town staff that makes that determination.
Right.
Yeah, I agree, and I
agree
see
with
where you're
that,
coming
yeah.
from, Barbara, that the staff should have their goals, right?
Okay.
It should go to their goals. Just for instance, we wanna have a wish list, or we have goals that we wanna do, the botanical garden that we wanna fundraise for. So we would come with ideas to the Friends, and then they could either choose to fund them or fundraise for them. But I don't, to the point with, I think we're trying to get away, or we are trying to get away with, or from having individuals donate something that we may or may not need, or might have exponential costs. So I think we set the priorities, we set the programs in conjunction with CELCAB, going
think
to our
so, too.
strategic plan. So,
It
and
needs-
then we go to the Friends and ask. You're right. I don't
Right.
think the Friends they shouldn't make those.
I
Exactly.
agree.
So I
So
get
I
what you're
think-
saying.
Let's make that clear in terms of status. So if the museum manager is responsible for making up a menu of possibilities for fundraising from the Friends, that we can articulate that in the status.
So
Because
somehow the wording has to be such that the lead role is the museum manager in conjunction with the Friends who are in support of, some language like that.
Well, I think it could be even a little more broad than that, because no offense to the Friends, but if we find some other partnership,
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
You should have other people.
it doesn't need to
included.
just be the Friends, which will still always come to the Friends. I'm not saying that, so whoever,
But you can have
we
multiple
appreciate it.
partners.
But we could,
Right.
a realtor
It's-
could come in and
it
say, I
says
want to
that.
sponsor I know we've had this gazebo talk, it's just not planning to put one there, but I want to sponsor this gazebo, or, I want to sponsor the kayak launch or something. So I think, we could work with a lot of people. I'm just thinking like, with even the Friends of Bay Oaks, Bay Oaks still has a banner program for the ball field. We
Right.
charge, so I think it could be a total effort to do that. I know that the Friends is gonna be one of our major ones.
So
But-
maybe we can broaden that
Organizations, is there-
status to include, that you, in addition to Friends, that you're responsible for seeking other sponsorships and partnerships.
But I think that's
So
what it says.
That's what it says.
It just says work with Friends.
If it
doesn't
says
say-
work with private and public
Secure
Right.
sponsors and
organizations.
partnerships.
And secure, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you're already there.
All right, so we're
Okay.
already there.
Yeah.
A great example of that is the Fishtail Marina and the, tours to Mount Key, and they
Mm-hmm.
would stop at the Mount House, and so that was a great partnership. It wasn't long-lived,
That's right.
but it was really something that was different from the Friends.
So perhaps it actually does need to be expanded, because it says you're working with Friends of the Mound House solely.
no,
No,
no, it
no, it
says
doesn't.
and secure
Insecure.
sponsors and partnerships.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be reversed.
So it says.
Oh, it's,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
you're right,
Sec-
right.
In
The
other words,
logic
it
of the
should,
statement
maybe it should
says
say
that it's
secure
others.
sponsors and partnerships and work with Friends of the
Yeah,
Mound
it's
House.
fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's where my issue
I
is.
think every time I read it, my head goes somewhere else, so.
Yeah, I think, let's say,
I-
if it's the museum manager responsibility, she secures sponsors and partnerships. work with friends for support.
I think it is important to put the friends in there. I agree,
yeah.
because
Oh,
they
yeah,
are
absolutely.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
don't leave
they've
them
been our
out.
major, I guess, friends. So
Forever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Forever, yeah,
sure,
so-
forever.
Let's just reverse that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, back in the days when the Friends' job was to convince the town to keep the property.
correct. No, I'm not. I don't want to discount that. So I'd like,
Yeah,
you're right,
yeah,
to keep that in there. Just open to other fundraising ideas that the staff might have too. So
So, but do you want me to switch the sentence?
Yeah, I
right?
think
Because
so,
you're-
because, yeah, because it doesn't tie you to having to work, I mean, it just it clarifies,
Right.
Secure spot,
Yeah, since-
and work with me in support of fundraising efforts, yes.
By the way, where are we with that gifts and sponsorship policy, or the gifts and donations policy with the town?
It's been adopted, I believe.
Oh,
it was adopted, I think, last Monday, right, 15th.
Okay.
Or was
I've
it?
been
Well, maybe it
behind
was
on
even
my town
before
council
that.
Well, it was before that.
Yeah,
I was just trying to remember how many readings we went through for it, but yeah. it's
we had to
been
go
adopted.
2, I think. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's now a document that's online, so we can access it?
Yes, I will. I will get you access to it.
Oh, okay.
No, everyone's got access to it, but I will put it in your inbox so it's. You don't have to-
Okay.
That would be
Oh,
great,
yeah,
because
that
I'm behind, having been traveling.
Yeah, it's a good document. It doesn't spell out. We still, I think, in my mind, have to go through. It's got like naming rights in there and those kind of things. But what constitutes somebody getting naming rights, and what's the price of having your naming rights? I know in other organizations I've worked for, like a big rec center would be $500,000. If you donated, you can name the building after you. So
Right.
I think there's parameters that we have to talk about still for details for that. I mean, can't do it $1 lease to put your name up there for it.
Well, I think the whole point is it gives some guidance as to what's acceptable, what isn't,
Correct.
but it doesn't set what the market rate might be for a bench or.
Right.
Right,
Right.
right,
And that
Exactly
needs
right.
to be.
right. Yep, all gets very complicated.
It really does.
All right, so, now we're on to marketing. Okay.
So I think the notion was that once the schedule, the annual schedule of exhibitions and education programs
Mhm.
was established and contracted, then the annual marketing plan would be
Implemented.
what would support that and what would promote that.
Yes.
Okay, so that's in conjunction with the overall
Schedule, yes.
schedule,
Mhm.
That's correct.
assumedly happening all at the same time. What time would that be?
Well, it all depends on, the new staff starts on the 29th. You know, I'm gonna give her, at least a month or so to, understand, the whole process and give her, training and then we'll start developing all
Are
that.
you doing this in conjunction with the town's budget? Because obviously October 1st could ostensibly be the start of your annual schedule of events and programs and marketing. October 1st, which is the fiscal year of the town.
Yes,
So the budget then allows for that or not to take place.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
But I think there's other thing, with we can have a budget for it, but nowadays you can do a lot of things pretty low cost.
Yeah, very.
Like we want to internally we want to post something from Mound House every week, or that's the little marketing things that we can probably do on our own. But I feel like we'll have the grant again,
yeah.
which will help, and then we're going to try to put some money in there for marketing too in the budget.
And you have Carrie's expertise to call upon that can advise of what's a good way to be investing your
Yeah.
resources.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll be happy to do whatever, because, I mean, yeah. One thing I did have on here, maintain and upgrade the website, like, I mean, how often does that happen? Because it should happen, like, every week. Because there should be things up there, like, when someone donates something, boom, it should be up there. Thank you so much, Susie Brown, for your donation, or
Good
whatever.
point.
Or whatever. It should happen immediately. It should not be, because like right now, not your fault, I'm sure, but it needs to be updated way more than what it is.
And it needs a total refresh, and Karina's well aware of that.
Yeah, I know she is. She's talked to me about that before. So I think the other thing is the social media should be the exact same way. I don't know this company. I'm going to look up this company that you guys have contracted, but it's lagging way behind. I mean, you know that. You're a very bright woman, so this needs to be definitely taken care of sooner than later. Because this is what our visitors are looking at.
Right.
They don't care about going there. They want to know, well, what's going on there for me to go there.
Right.
This does not do it.
Good point.
Yeah,
We can raise a lot more money if these two areas are a lot better.
absolutely. And you get a lot more visitors because when I'm being a docent, you ask them how they found out. Oh, I just saw it online. And if you dig, sometimes
Right.
it can be
Yeah.
more specific, sometimes not. But
Yeah.
that's how everybody finds us.
And we do
I
have a
live here
di-
and I don't even know half the time some of the things that are going on.
Right.
Oh, PIO.
we do have a new PIO, which in that department also has a digital marketing specialist. So
Yep,
we'll,
we do
we'll
all
work
that
with
too. So
we'll
yeah.
work with them on doing that, and yeah,
Because
but
we should.
agree.
One thing that we definitely should not be doing is spending any money on Google Ads right now, because Google Ads are changing constantly, and it is a no for any nonprofit, because you're not going to get the return on your investment.
No, we're not.
Okay, because
No, but
it's
I've noticed that there's a significantly enhanced Facebook presence, for example, which is all being driven by Abigail, and I think the content, a lot of it's being generated by, I always,
Trujillo Media,
Thank
yes.
you.
You post on
That Trujillo, thank you.
Facebook? You do? Okay.
so yeah. I just think this is an opportunity for us to be able to raise a lot more money.
Yes, and I will call you on
Yeah,
that and get
please do.
some-
Call my cell anytime. I'm available.
So Barbara, I know you are a copious note taker when you review things. Do you have any more notes about this?
No, but I just think it's looking really good.
I do.
How about
Agreed.
it? Don't
I do
you?
too.
I agree 100%. You're
Well
doing a great
done,
job.
yeah.
Yeah, Karina,
I mean,
you are to
there's
be
a lot of
commended.
moving parts, obviously,
Yes.
and,
Is that okay?
so it's, I
Yes.
think it's, and I love the new vision statement and the values were really,
Yeah.
Agreed.
one question though I have is, the code of ethics, which we were given last week.
Mhm.
Was that a draft or is that a final? And was that drafted by Adam?
It was a copy I found that Adam, I'm not sure if he started it, from scratch or he found a template kind of thing.
So what do we
So-
do with this? Does it need to be an agenda item to discuss at CELCAB or?
Well, it is a document that we need for
Right, for
accreditation, so
accreditation.
we definitely need to talk about it and start working on that.
Is there a
So
way
I
you
do
could find
know-
out whether that was?
Excuse me, sorry, I do know that the town is putting together, along with the documents that we've been working, which is the manual, if you will, around all of the advisory committees. There's also a document that's being generated in conjunction with that, which is about volunteering for the town, which you all are considered volunteers for the town, and it's going to apply to everyone. So I don't know if there's one specific for a museum, or if it just needs to be called out within the overall town document, but that's something we can check
Oh.
on.
Good point.
And it seems like the town should be the umbrella one, and then if there's
If
specific
there are
things.
specific things for museum accreditation, it needs to be called out somewhere.
Right.
And I would think we would, I haven't seen the document, so I don't know how it's even laid out. But I do know that it's under works, because we spoke about it as we were reviewing the other manual.
Yeah, I have not seen the document either. I know it's going through the works, and hopefully in September or October, it'll be presented to the advisory boards as a guideline for all advisory boards for the town. So I'll find a little bit more about it. I mean, I know the general concept, and it's going to really help our advisory board. So, but I have not seen the document.
And I
Oh,
would
I-
think there might be some variation between.
There's two different documents, let me be clear. One document it covers, well, they both cover ethics and behavior and responsibility. But there was one that was being developed that was specifically around volunteering. And then there's the second one, which was the advisory boards. So
Oh.
there were two different documents.
Gotcha, okay.
And what will be coming to you is basically the sheet of what is the mission of CELCAB. And as the prompt, it will be what's actually in our ordinance that talks about what your responsibilities are. But what we would like from you is to really brainstorm and ensure that if there's something that's not in the ordinance that you feel is very important, that it gets captured in this document, because that's really going to say, oh, you know, what's a good example is there was just a joint meeting between the advisory Anchorage Committee and MRF, right? And it was about water taxis and that sort of thing. They both have an overlapping interest in that topic, but they have different mission statements. So I could see the same thing occurring with yourselves and maybe Bay Oaks, for example, right? There is a certain amount of overlap in that it's town public programming, but you don't care about pickleball, and
They don't care about museums.
but you both care about landscape,
Right,
Right.
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So something like that. So that's what will be coming to you. Staff will be coming to you with a request for that kind of review of your purview, if you will, and make sure that it aligns with what you guys think is important.
Yeah. So I think that has to come down before we
It will be
react.
coming to you for your input to then be brought
Okay,
back.
good, okay, so you don't have to worry about it now.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, so, is there anything further on the strategic plan?
I guess we just vote on the changes then.
So we just vote, okay, so
I'm
do I
gonna
have?
have, I'm gonna have Karina, or Karina's gonna kind of read the changes that we
Okay.
have, just so you're all aware of what you're voting on.
Yeah, that's an
Um,
excellent idea.
Yeah, so, and then we can, you can discuss it as we go, and
Okay.
then,
Yeah, you actually, in this case, you can give direction to staff based on consensus discussion. I think you should ask, are you all good with what it is? But it's really, what requires a vote is any recommendation that you either want to be brought to town council to
Okay.
look at. So in this case, I think you can say, we love the document where it is, these are the changes that we're making, are we all in agreement? Karina, go back and make the changes as you wish, and then when it is something that is going to be distributed to council, I guess, that's, when you're asking council to make a decision, that's something you have to vote on.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
All right, so the changes are on page number 2, under our vision. I'm going to use suggestion number 1, which is to create meaningful connections between people, history, and nature, inspiring lifelong stewardship for our coastal environment and appreciation for the many cultures that define our communities.
Okay.
Right, on page number 3, on our values, the first one will be to present a range of museum-quality, engaging programs that support the mission and encourage return visits.
okay,
There are no changes for page number 4. No changes for page number 5. No changes on page number 6.
Right, correct.
On page number 7, on the first line, implement new collections management policy under the responsibility of the museum registrar. And the target date will put ongoing, but revise every 2 years.
Correct.
There are no changes on page number 8. No changes on page number 9.
I thought we added something about professional staff development.
Yeah.
It's on page
I
number
believe
9.
it's in the next page.
Oh,
It's on the next page.
Operations.
Oh, because it's development, duh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So for page number 10 or 11, either one, we'll add professional development. And then
And training.
we'll add something about the multimodal form of transportation.
Yes.
Okay. And the other change, to secure sponsors and partnerships, the sentence there is gonna change to secure sponsors and partnerships and work with Friends of the Mountain House for their support in fundraising efforts.
Yes.
That's correct.
Perfect, thank you.
And no changes to page number 12.
All right, do I have a motion to accept the Mountain House Strategic Action Plan Draft 2 with the changes that were discussed and agreed to this afternoon?
I so moved.
All right. Okay, so Barbara gets it and
I'll second.
and Lori gets the second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Excellent job. All right,
Yes.
now we're gonna move on to staff liaison report. Oh, excuse me, new business. Is there any new business for discussion? Okay, staff liaison report.
All right, you have a page where you have all the number of visitors for the month of May. I'm not gonna go through that, so you can go over it.
Right.
I will tell you about our programs and events. We still have yoga weekly on Mondays at 9 a.m. on the grounds. We still have our volunteer orientations every first Tuesday of the month. Our Archaeology and Archives tour is back, but it's only offered on Saturdays at 2 p.m. So we're slowly getting back to our schedule. And thanks to the generous support of the Fort Myers Beach Community Foundation, admission to the Mountain House will be free on the last Saturday of each month throughout the summer.
Nice.
So this sponsorship helps make local history, archaeology, and environmental education more accessible to residents and visitors alike. So it will be June 27th, July 25th, and August 29th.
Wonderful.
How much do they give for that?
They donated, I believe, just for this program, $2,900.
How was that determined in terms of,
From previous years' admissions
for the summer months?
for the summer months, we
Okay.
created, yeah,
That's awesome, thank you.
of course. For media, WGCU visited the Mountain House again on May 14th, just to capture the final footage needed for the documentary currently in production. I really can't wait to see that. Partnerships and community support, we receive a $500 donation from the Fort Myers Beach Alliance Foundation.
Nice.
And at the annual award ceremony hosted by the Fort Myers Beach Community Foundation at St. Raphael's Episcopal Church, the Mountain House was honored to receive a donation of $6,750 to support our museum programs and educational initiatives.
Nice.
Just general operational updates. Our kayak tours and Newton Park beach walks continue to be on hold due to staffing. And the new education coordinator is scheduled to start June 29th. Yes.
Yay.
And for marketing, the Mountain House is participating in the Lee County Visitors and Convention Bureau Summer Nature Navigators Digital Pass Program, which promotes nature-based attractions and programs throughout the summer. As a participating location, the Mountain House will be featured through the VCB's website, visitor guides, email marketing, and social media. So visitors can earn points by checking in at participating locations or attending programs, encouraging exploration of Lee County's natural attractions while increasing visibility and for participating organizations.
Wonderful.
We are also participating in the Island Charm Crawl 2026 through the Friends of the Mountain House. This is sponsored by WhatsApp FMB, and it's a island-wide promotion which invites residents and visitors to explore Fort Myers Beach from May 1st through October 31st, while collecting exclusive charms from participating attractions, shops, restaurants, and businesses. The program encourages participants to discover all that the island has to offer while supporting local organizations and businesses. That was been fun. We already received quite a
Do
few.
you have your charms?
Do we have the charms
Yes,
yet?
we do, and I have some of it for you too.
Oh, good.
And the Friends of the Mound House will participate in the Fort Myers Beach 4th of July parade to help promote the Mound House and its programs. Volunteers will decorate the golf cart for the parade on July 1st, preparing for this community event and their outreach opportunity.
Yay. Will this be the first time that Mound House has ever participated in a parade?
I think we did a few years ago. Or,
I think we did.
yeah, we did one
once,
other time.
Yeah. I think we did once.
Before the hurricane.
Maybe 4 times.
Right, the BI.
Yeah. And I'll just give you a quick update about Newton with CDB GDR funds. So they're currently have it in the designer's hands. J.R. Evans. They are currently working on the design. They're hoping to get us kind of a 30% by maybe mid-July, so it can be on the first council meeting as a presentation. But we made it, we've had conversations about, the conceptual plan that we had, just the visioning session from the R2P2. So they're working off that conceptual plan, and that's kind of all I know right now. We haven't seen like initial design yet. They just started 2 weeks ago after the contract was made. So there is progress, and that one should be. I'm thinking that one will be the first one probably we can get done. There's no real infrastructure to it necessarily. There's some cheeky huts, but hopefully that's the first one that we can get open.
Yeah, and that will be of much interest to Carrie.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I have to go. My driver's here.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Good to see you,
thanks.
Mary.
Nice
Thanks,
to
Carrie.
see you.
Safe
Join us
in person.
Thank you.
Safe journey.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's pretty much it.
With regard to the infrastructure, isn't there electrical that needs to be put in?
Yeah, but it's conduit and everything. I don't think that's going to be a major structure like
Okay.
if we put up a new cottage. So
And that's not gonna happen.
And there's gonna be a pavilion, I think that
there'll be
was-
pavilions, yeah, cheeky
Right.
huts or tiki huts, whatever. I don't know.
Cheeky.
Cheeky huts. So yeah, there'll be one really big one, and then maybe a couple little ones. So like we had in the design.
Before,
So.
before time.
And walking trails, and we're gonna do a switchback from the parking lot like we had before, an ADA ramp going to the beach.
Oh,
Set it
yes,
up so
that's
Joe
right.
and Carol have,
The other
The
way,
neighbors.
yes, we're gonna not do anything on that side. It's all
Joe
gonna
and
be
Carol's.
Joe and Carol's, we'll call it. We're gonna focus everything on Strand View.
okay, good.
And we're gonna have an area for events to take place at the pavilion too? I mean,
Yeah, that'll be kind of the pavilion, and then I think behind it is supposed to be some kind of other. I don't know if grass is the right word, but some landscaping behind it where you can. I think they had it fitting 200 underneath the cheeky hut, and then 200 behind. So that was kind of the initial thought, but we'll see what they come up with design. So.
and I think, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, I don't recall, are restrooms part of the proposal?
Yes, right now they're temporary unless we can secure the wave mitigation wall, and then we can build a smaller permanent structure if we get that in there, ground level.
Okay.
Good.
And your comment question?
Just concerned about landscaping from the pavilion, because I think the idea was that you have a nice view of the Gulf
Yeah.
without a lot of obstruction from landscaping from the pavilion.
Yeah, okay,
Let's see.
I'll definitely bring that
Yeah, that is.
bring that up when we see it. When we see the initial one, I mean, the landscaping I think will be able to be moved around as needed to. So however we want, either add or subtract. So I don't really want to subtract.
Benches.
And then yes, benches will be in there. We also had I can't remember her name. On the switchback from Strandview, there was a plaque. I have the name. There was a little bench like before you switched back, I guess you could call it. And it had a little bench with a little plaque. And she reached out to us to see if she can put that back. And I said, absolutely. If it was there before, we'll put it back. So if there's anything else like that from Newton that you can think of, if there was certain landmarks that were already dedicated or,
I don't
you
know
know,
I don't know if it was dedicated, but there was a landmark of the footprint of a home that had been there.
The original cottage,
Yeah.
yes, that predated the Seven Seas cottage.
Correct.
Yeah, and there was like
Yes.
an outline, the foundation's outline was preserved,
Correct.
okay.
but we don't know what happened after. I'm
Well,
sure
we'll
that's all
have
been-
pictures of that. So
And there was signage about that cottage that was on display there.
That's right. So do we have any of that narrative
I believe we
in
do.
our files for
Don't we for Newton?
With recreating that text for
Yeah,
additional
we'll
signage?
look. I want to say we have some detailed pictures too. Like before the storm, we try to take detailed pictures of everything. So we'll look at that too.
And I think the idea was, again, having landscaping that was similar to what was there when the Newtons lived there. I think that was, again, not dissimilar from what we have at the Mound House, but keeping it native.
Oh, it'll be native for sure. Yeah.
And again, with the
Yeah.
interpretive signage as people
Yes, that's
walk
also
around.
part of it. Yes.
Yeah.
There were a lot of sea grapes
Yes.
when Ellie was there.
Yeah.
And what they used to call mother-in-law's tongue, remember?
Oh, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yeah.
I don't know the official word.
We'll look. We have.
Snake plants.
Yeah. We actually
Come out
who
the
designed
door
that?
and wave her little white hanky.
I can't remember. What was the design company that designed that the first time?
Oh,
Do you remember
gosh,
the
I don't
name?
know.
We have those plans still.
Good.
Okay.
So I can't remember. I don't know. It was a landscape architect firm that
Right.
we had. And I
The
can't
only one
remember.
I remember is David Sachs as a landscape architect.
Was that the one, maybe?
Well, he's the one I know that did the Mound House. I'll bet you we
Okay.
had him come back for the Newton, if I'm not mistaken.
Possibly.
don't
We have them
remember.
though, so that's good to have.
I don't know if he's still around even.
True.
Okay, so we'll move on to committee members' reports. So we'll start with Lori. Do you have anything to report?
I do not.
Barbara?
Nothing to report, thank you.
And nor do I. And,
I just have one other thing. I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
sorry, no, go right
When I
ahead.
send you actually, I sent it to Karina to send out blind copy with both the, Lizette was nice enough to forward me the donation policy, so
Okay.
Karina has those, and she also has the fee schedule. Also in there is Newton. I think it would be good for us to take a look at that too, because
Yep.
it's possible it might be open by next fiscal.
So we
you
should
know.
have that as an
I
agenda.
mean, that's our plan, but who knows what, how that goes around here.
So that should be a new business item for next month, or
We'll have to do it, I think, via email,
Okay. Oh, in
um,
order, okay,
just like we will for Mound House,
Sure,
because we
sure.
don't meet until August
right, that's too late. Okay.
27th, I believe. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And everyone keeps up on their email. And John, you were previously occupied when I asked for as the liaison. Do you have any comments or?
No, I think during the meeting, I talked about what I had to provide you, so, no, nothing new.
Okay. Well, I just want to thank Karina and Jeff for all the extraordinary work that you do to keep us impressed
It's all her.
and involved. And yes.
It's all
yes.
Karina.
I know it's all
Sorry.
Karina. Karina is a wonder, an amazing wonder. Okay, so we have our next meeting date set for August 27th, 2026.
I just want to set the agenda, what you want on the agenda, I guess, for new business. Would it be whatever? I don't know what you all discussed or what you want to set it for.
You talked about the botanicals.
Botanicals, yep,
Okay.
the botanical garden.
And I think maybe, Ellen, you could designate somebody to go to council with the idea that we now have a strategic plan
Okay.
to recommend for approval.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we can't recommend that right now because we only have 3.
Because
So-
what?
We only have.
We only have 3 to vote on that, but we can still do
Oh,
that
right.
in
Oh,
early
yeah,
September.
Right, we can't vote on anything, okay.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I wish we could.
Would it be accessible, would it be, would it be all right to me to put a call out to CELCAB members send to Amy Baker a call to CELCAB members? Is there someone who would be willing to go before town council and mention and report that we have a strategic plan? Is that,
Yeah, we can maybe do that on for our next meeting back, because you'll want to set what you want to talk about
okay,
and get approved, by the advisory board to say, I'm going to go there and talk about, our strategic plan and our events.
okay.
And those are the things you should talk about because they approved you to go up there and do that. Does that make sense?
So wait
so-
until August to do that.
Yeah, because we
You can
can't
do
vote
that.
on.
There's no rush.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
I mean, I want to get it in front of them as soon as we can too. I just think procedurally that's probably the best.
okay.
So everyone has their say in what goes up there, so you're not,
Blindsiding anyone.
or saying stuff that wasn't approved.
Right. Okay. All right, so is there anything further?
Sorry. For August agenda, then it's just the botanical
At
garden
this point,
with the final,
final of the strategic action
okay.
plan.
okay.
And if there's anything further, we'll figure out a way to do it so that it's appropriate, done in,
I might put on there, or maybe we'll put on there to maybe a recommendation to go to council
yes.
under new business, just so
Yeah.
we don't forget about that part of
Okay.
it.
So then we have 3 topics, but they should be not at all elaborately, need elaborate discussion, so it might be a very short meeting. We'll see.
I don't know,
Okay.
picking the plants might be hard.
All right, is there a call for adjournment?
I so moved.
Is there a
Second.
second? Oh, we can't vote. So we
Yeah,
just have to dissolve.
Right,
You
we
can do a
can.
You can adjourn.
consensus.
We can
That
adjourn.
means we can't adjourn.
Hey, I can't start the meeting.
Bring in the cots.
We're perpetually here.
What do we
And
have
so
for
it's
dinner?
at 2:29.
Is the meeting officially adjourned?
The minute is officially
It
adjourned.
is.
And it's,